Well, I'm out here in the Newell working on my vent fan. Currently have it hanging by a wire, which is probably not too good for it, but it's locked up. Hard to show you with one hand, but it's basically, I can't even turn it. So I took it down out of the shroud there. Just held on with these brackets. And I'm gonna pull it out and I'm gonna take the motor apart and just see. I don't know if a magnet has fallen out or if it's the bearings are just locked up or what, but maybe I can fix it. If not, apparently there's one that's just like this at Napa that you can get for 50 bucks, which is kind of a lot, but that's cheaper than a Max Air, which is 300 bucks. I don't feel like spending right now. And then I didn't do a good job of documenting this, but I had to oil the fan. The fan kind of locked up in this thing, stopped blowing, and I thought I was gonna have to replace it, but it turned out it just needed some oil. Got it freed up, and it's been running now for probably an hour. It's doing good. It's cooling fine. It's about 95 degrees outside, and it's tolerable in here. I'm not running the back one because I don't have enough power yet. Got to put a 50 amp in. But yeah, the Re-Newell project is moving along. That is an impressive rainbow. I noticed it started pouring down rain and the sun was still out, so I was like, I wonder if there's a rainbow. Yeah, a good one. So I think the culprit here on this little motor is that the magnet, one of the magnets dislodged, come unglued, and when it did, it smashed into the armature, and I've actually been sitting here trying to repair it, but you can see those little plates there. A couple of them I've snatched out. See, there's two gaps right there, and I was just trying to push them back into place, but I think that's what happened, is that magnet let go, and when it did, this thing started hitting it at a high rate of speed. But it doesn't appear to damage the windings. I don't know if this thing's worth saving. I could re-epoxy that and try to put it back together and see if it'll run. I might do that, I might not, we'll see. So I decided I'm going to attempt to repair this little motor. If for no other reason than just to see if I can. So I've got a little West System G5 epoxy, and I'm going to try to epoxy that magnet back on there if I can find it. Where is it? There it is. Got that sanded, cleaned up, and I got the armature straightened out ish. I don't think the windings are damaged. I guess I could check it with a meter or something. But anyway, I'm gonna try to put it all back together. The brushes are in great shape. There ain't nothing wrong with those brushes. So we'll see if I can get it to run or if it'll fly apart again. All right, I got the motor back inside at my desk so I can work on it a little bit better, but got the armature back in there, in the magnets, got the magnet epoxy back in. You can kind of see where I was liberal with it. I don't want it to come off. Tolerances are pretty tight. I think I got the plate straightened on it, but anyway, I'll try to get it together and see if it'll work. These brushes, I think I can push them in and there's a hole on the back there. I think I might be able to put a toothpick or something through there to hold them in. We'll see. I don't know, maybe I'll get lucky. So I haven't been sure about this charger, well, because it's new to me and not the newest in the world, but I got all my batteries kind of charged up, and I got rid of that one of the batteries in the front that was one of the old ones that came with it. It would not charge. It was just sitting there boiling, and so this thing was never cutting off, and I wasn't sure if it was because that battery just wouldn't charge or if it's because this thing wasn't doing like it's supposed to. But what I've been doing is watching it. Now I put a new battery in the front that I know is a good battery, and it appears every now and then it'll go into a mode where it'll check, and you'll see it go up to 10 amps, then it'll drop to 5, then 2, and then it goes like this, where like it is right now again. So I think it's checking every now and then to put in maintenance if it needs to, and then it kind of goes back to this. So just going to kind of keep an eye on it, and if it's truly in a maintenance mode, then that's cool. That means I can keep it plugged in. So we'll keep an eye on it and see what it does. All right, I got the grate off of the old Kool-O-Matic fan. It was in the RV, and I noticed this these little flappers in here were kind of whack, for lack of a better term, and you couldn't really move them. This thing's made so you can close that fan off, and it's got a plexiglass cover as well that goes over it, and it snaps over on these snaps here, and you can see it used to have like foam right here, and I'm gonna have to get some more foam weather stripping. But I don't know if it came like that or if somebody added that later, because this vent got all messed up. I wouldn't think they would go to that much trouble to cover this hole up, but I guess the thing is, with this open like this is wide open to the outside. The only thing over it is the hood on the roof to keep the rain from coming in. So in the wintertime, all your heat would go right out the roof. So I can see why they want to seal it up. But you may not want to put that plexiglass cover on all the time. So if you could close it like that, that's pretty tight. But anyway, it's got a slider here, and this slider had pushed through that hole like that right there. And so what I'm doing now is I've disconnected it from the little linkage in here. I don't know if you can see it, but see there's a little linkage right here, and then that's got a little nipple, I don't know, whatever you call it, sticking out that goes through here. So I'm gonna get it lined back up and then get this thing sprung back in the right direction and get it hooked back up. I'm also going to wash this whole thing. See if I can get that old fan working again. Much better. Well, I got the grate all clean yesterday, so figured I'd at least wash the fan blades off too. They're pretty caked with dirt, which is not very efficient. So I got my new motor in, so I'm going to try to put this beast back together and see if it can move some air. All right, so it's a nice brisk 102 degrees in the Newell today. I got my new motor for my Kool-O-Matic fan, This is the old original fan that came in this thing. And the previous owner said that it was amazing. It would move so much air that they hardly ever had to use the air conditioner unless it was above 85 degrees or something. And then online I've heard some really good things as well. People try to keep them running as long as they can. So I, through the forums, figured out that Napa carried this motor here that replaced the old one, which I failed at rebuilding. So it goes in this little bracket here. And then there's another, I'll put that in on these bushings here. There's one there and one there. And then when I get it up there, I'll put this final leg on like that right there. And thinking this motor might be a little bit bigger than the other one, so I may have to use all the bolt, loosen this one up, then see if I can kind of figure it all out and get it all lined back up. But I'm gonna make it work, that's for sure. I'm not taking it back. So anyway, I'm gonna try to put this all back together. Okay, I got it in there. This motor housing was a little bit bigger, but I was able to just kind of tighten everything down and let it sort of bend itself into place. Plus the shaft is longer, so in order to get the fan kind of lined up, I had to have this thing just about at the end of the motor, but it's okay. It's in there, nothing's hitting. So I just got to terminate the wires and see if we can get this thing to work. Well, it works. I had to do some adjusting. I had to actually had to push it up, way up in there so that the grate would go on, but it still seems to be working fine. So the trick with this thing is this motor is bigger than the one that came with it by a decent bit, and it's a beast. And when you turn it on high, it goes high. And at this speed, so that's 2 there, that's 3, 2, and then it'll slow right on down at 1. So I put the clamp meter on it. This is 3 amps. This is 10. This is about 21. So, what ends up happening is it blows fuses. So I've got a 25 in there at the moment, but that's a little hot for 12 gauge wire, which is coming over here probably 15 feet at least. So that's a lot of voltage drop and heat, and looks like they already burned up one fuse. I mean, they actually already burned up the fuse block in the position that this used to be in. So I think I'm going to replace the wire where they did their little repair. I'm going to replace that with a blade fuse holder and go straight to the input side of the fuse holder. So the fan draws a lot of amps, and I think when the motor, this position number 6 is the original position where the fan goes, and you can see it melted there. I don't know if they tried to put a heavier fuse in it when it started going bad, but that definitely melted. And they've moved the wire. Here's the wire right there. Not sure what kind of splice they did right here. I gotta look at that, but it's getting a little warm. And then moved it to this bottom position. Now I have a 25 amp fuse in there right now, which is, to me, probably too much. If it was this size wire going all the way to it, I'd be okay. Well, I guess it kind of is. It's about 12 gauge, but that's a long run. What I'm thinking about doing is putting a ring terminal right here, and then putting a blade fuse holder with a 25 in it, and then going straight from the the blade holder wire with a butt connector into here, and try to reduce the resistance. see if I can get it to run on high without getting warm. This gets extremely hot right here if you put it on high. It's gonna melt again. It's hot right now, you know, running out at 10 amps. So I don't like that. I'm gonna see if I can do something better. We'll see what happens. Okay. Man, it was hot today. It's still hot. Looks like it may storm again. So let's see how hot it is in the bus. Oh yeah, that's nice. So yesterday was working on the fan and got it working. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna turn it on. There's one. I'm gonna put it on 2. Then I'm going to open up these windows. Open up this one. Whoops. And gonna wait, I don't know, 15 minutes or so and see how much the temperature drops. All right, gonna try this again. See what the temperature is in here now. Yeah, so it's dropped down to 98. So that's probably not much hotter than it actually is outside right now. So that's pretty cool. So it works. It's moving the air. So interesting test.